Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well. And I hear out of your own choice and not because you're being forced to sacrifice your Saturday afternoon. Let me try and share the screen. Discord is not giving me permission. Wait, let me try and fix that. Just give me 2 minutes till I figure a screen share.
Sure.
I've just changed my settings. I'll just quit and rejoin, right? Give me the 5 seconds.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. Let me try again. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Since I'm presenting, I can't see the chat right now. So I'll look at it once I have presented the whole thing, right? So we can take all questions then. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll do it at the end.
Yeah, okay. All right. So welcome to this session. And so excited to be with all you game developers. I think 100% of people who get into game development do so because of passion, because they've grown up playing games, loving how it makes them feel, very interested in, why games do, make us feel this way. So we're all here because of passion. And it's very important to think about how games reach players, because you're not just doing it for yourself, right? If it's a passion, if it's a hobby, then that's a separate way of looking at that. But we're all here because we're looking at how we can make it a career. So the important thing to think about is that a game doesn't magically gets discovered, right? You might see viral articles, this game suddenly got so many wish lists or got so many downloads. But if you look at it a little bit deeply also, you'll realize that there is usually years of hard work that sort of builds to that success, right? People see your game, they have to remember it. We all are waiting for GTA 6 because it's a game that we remember, and we are waiting. And for us indie game developers also, we have to do that, right? We're not a big AAA developer. We don't have millions of dollars backing us, so we have to do everything we can within our power to make sure that we reach out to as many people as possible and they remember us. So they buy us when they can. They buy DLCs if we release more additional stuff. They give us feedback. They tell more people about us, right? So I'll quickly talk you through things that we are personally sort of following at Second Quest right now. Our debut game is called Model Trains. It's a PC game that is in development, and we'll start our wishlist campaign in the coming few weeks. So yeah. So the first important thing to think about is, right, all the community building, all the marketing that you're planning, who you're doing it for, right? It's not a faceless void that you're just putting stuff out towards, right? So take a little time and think about it. For example, for model trains, we know that the core hobbyist is one persona that we're targeting, right? We are transforming a real world hobby into a digital experience. So we've thought about where those people are who are interested in this. They're on Discord, they're on Reddit, there are dedicated forums. So while this is a niche cohort, but for us, over the course of the game, they'll bring us most value, right? They'll get involved, they'll spend the money, they'll tell other people about it. And then you have your people who are interested in, say, trains or simulation games, and they can discover us casually through doom scrolling, right? Now, if you look at most products across industries, discoverability is through content, is through platforms like Instagram, and it's not different for games. And then the gaming ecosystem is about other things, right? Press is important, publishers are important, festival curators are important, and investors, if that's what you're looking for. All of those people also look at all of this, and different things you put out give different signals. And if you're consistent about what you're putting out, you're authentic about it, it's a great signal. And suddenly you'll see press working out, publishers being interested, you getting accepted into festivals. But none of that will happen if you randomly send down one cold email and there is nothing about your game out there, right? So for us, personally speaking, there was a contest that was put out. Even though our game we had just announced, there was barely a few weeks of development, we entered it. But because we'd been talking about the game publicly, we got accepted, even though we were slightly early for that contest's parameters. And we ended up going to GDC and talking about the game. And we got people from across industries telling us that yeah, this makes sense. We had fans of simulation games telling us you're on the right path, which gave us a lot of validation, right? uh, which is important. You're not making the game for yourself, you're making the game for a player. And if you look at the funnel of how this works, the marketing funnel, your first phase for any person is awareness, right? They have to know that you exist, which could be through trailers, usually, or screenshots. Then they have to think about you, right? Okay, let me figure out more. Like how you do when you look at, and this is true for any product that you would buy. So whether it's a consumer buying a shampoo or a player buying a game, at the core the marketing funnel is the same for everything. So they have to be, after they are aware of your existence, they have to be interested, more interested, right? So they have to find out more information about you, and they get committed if whatever you've put out aligns and interests them. And when the time is right, that is when the purchase will happen. It could be whether you've launched at the right time, there's a festival that you're a part of, there is a discount that you're driving, whatever that moment is, right? And then the ideal stage is once anybody has purchased your game, they become your biggest advocates, they become your fans, they go and talk about, oh, I'm playing this game and it's so great, check it out, I'm streaming this. So that's the ideal state, right? And the more they talk about it, the more people find out about it, right? So your awareness grows, and then that becomes a loop. So hopefully once you've built a community, it keeps growing organically. Okay, why should you start talking about your game from day one, right? And why is it important? Because you have to think about thousands of new games go into development every single day, right? So every day that you're not talking about your game, somebody else is talking about theirs. If you spend all those weeks and months building your game and only start talking about it once it's finished, it's already too late. You are not going to magically reach out to everybody overnight. You know, your wish lists are not going to go up day one. Your mobile downloads are not happening magically, right? So very, very important. Even if you're running a user acquisition campaign and you have the money to do it, even that takes time to learn, right? That takes time to figure out, okay, what are my users, what is working well. Why are you going to wait for your game to be finished for that? It's completely wasted time. I know for developers, hardcore developers, sometimes it might feel such a waste of time that my game is not made, I don't have time for this. But honestly, that is just the wrong way of looking at it. You don't want your hard work going to waste, right? Especially if it's a profession, right? We want to make money out of it. We want to be making games sustainably, right? So you have to start on day one, no matter how small it is. You might think your game is very rough. It could be just sketches, it could be just a thought, it could be, you know, just a frame, framework, whatever it is. You have to put something out, because remember, every day that you're sitting silent, somebody else is putting stuff out, right? And players get attached to the journey. It's so important. uh, if you keep putting stuff out, they get emotionally invested, and that is what you want. People who will wait for you, who will cheer for you, who will give you feedback, who will tell other people about it. So, and that's exactly what we did at Model Trains. We had a very basic build, only a few weeks of development, a very basic trailer, and we did a live stream talking about why are we building this, who are we building it for, what we want the community to do. It was very scary. We were not ready. The game was very, very raw, but we felt it was important, and we are very happy that we did it, right? And that's what I would advise to everybody. Okay, so coming to trailers. Um, so how people market has changed, right? When it was television, then you would sit and watch the entire thing because you wouldn't switch channels. Now in the era of Instagram and YouTube, everybody scrolls within 2 to 3 seconds, right? And you guys are all Instagram reel natives and short natives, so you understand it better than, somebody my age who has transitioned from, say, TV to digital first. If it's not interesting in the first 3 seconds, nobody is watching it. So you have to get your hook, right? Whatever that is, people have to stop scrolling and see the whole thing. So, use your instincts. All of you know how to do this, right? Whatever your hook is, okay, whether it's a trending audio, it's something quirky happening on scene, make sure you have that going immediately. Think about what game you're making, right? Is it an action game? Is it a cozy game? And edit accordingly. Like, we're making a cozy game, so too many fast cuts don't make sense for us. But if you're making an action game, then that is the way to go. And figure out whatever way you're going to produce this content. You don't have to be an expert at anything. There are extremely simple, easy to use free tools available. Canva is great. Microsoft's Clipchamp is, again, very easy to use. Instagram editor, all of this is free, as in easy to use. If you're slightly, you want to a little bit upskill yourself, or you are interested in editing, DaVinci Resolve is a free editing software. And then if you have the budget and you have interest, then you have Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere. But it's not required, right? And whether you're making a mobile game or a PC game, short form content is the number one way of reaching people right now. So we are making a PC game, but for us, shorts are extremely important. So basically, you figure out what your production pipeline is, whatever tools you're using. Make sure that you figured out how to use it, and you put together what content that you want to put out. It's very important that you figure out a way of at some consistency putting it out, so people hear you, see you, know about your game, know about the team, know about the process, and are emotionally invested. So here is an example. We put out a short. It was literally a 10-15 second short, and we don't have too many subscribers right now, but it within 24 hours had hit 10K views, and it helped us understand. This was a short of train derailing, which is one of the key sort of mechanics and features of our game. So this taught us, okay, you know what, this is the kind of content we have to put more focus on, right? And the other shot that you see on the screen was just our head of product and Yadu, our head of design, sitting on the floor working on something. And this was about how indie teams are hustling it, and again it reached, within like 24 hours 2K plus views. So you have to figure out what works, try everything. When it comes to screenshots and store assets, it's you're putting your game out formally in front of people, right? So think about, if you're invited to a party, right, you are going to be dressed well, right, as per the party, whatever the theme is, and that is how people will look at you, and that is how people will judge you. It's the same for your game. You have to show up in the best way possible, right? People, like all of you, when you look at games that you want to download or buy from Steam, you will also scroll within 2 seconds, so it has to grab your attention. It has to be very clear, right? So you show your screenshots to other people and tell them, okay, you know nothing about a game, so tell us what this tells you. Go to strangers and do that test, because you sometimes become blind to what you put out, because you know the game, you have been living and breathing it for weeks and for months, so sometimes you'll miss stuff and you'll say, oh, but it's obvious, why are people not understanding? So do that, right? um, put out one image, show it to people, and ask them, what does it tell you? And make sure that what your core gameplay is, you try and put out that as much as possible. You don't want to do menus, you don't want to do loading screens. Very simple text, very readable text. Don't over design it, don't clutter it. So we're right now working on our store assets, because we're going to start our wishlist campaign soon, and that's exactly what we are doing. Okay, immediately if I see this image, what it tells me. If I'm making a simulation game, does it look like a simulation game? Will people understand it? Is it a train game? Is the train standing out? So that's exactly what I would advise all of you. So in an ideal situation, somebody looks at it for 1 to 2 seconds, understands it, and if they are the player of that genre, they're immediately interested, and they will wishlist or buy your game. Okay, devlogs. Most of you will know what a devlog is basically, the development team talking about what they have been doing, what they have been working on, the process, the feelings, the features. For us, we do a YouTube live stream. We try and do it monthly, sometimes a little bit more than that. But we are very committed to it, right? Because everybody understands that it is hard to make a game, right? Players understand it, the community understands it. So if you put yourself out there, people will get attached, people will get invested, and it builds trust, right? People want to be part of making that game. It's like, why do we for example, a movie, the Odyssey is about to come out, right? We're all going and looking at the making of it, right? Black Myth Wukong, GTA, we all go and look at documentaries, other big games, right? Why? Because we're interested in that journey. So similarly, other people are interested in our journey also, but we have to be out there, right? So you figure out whatever your cadence is, whether you want to do monthly, whether you want to do once a quarter, and talk about everything, what worked, what didn't work. Nobody's only interested in seeing wins. That's not how it works, right? And make sure you're consistent about it. So for us, we are doing something called Railyard Diaries, because we're making a train game. And we try and put stuff out constantly. And it's called the IKEA effect, right? When you're part of doing something, you care about it more, right? It's why people sometimes would like an IKEA furniture more than any fancy furniture, because they've built it. So whether they've screwed it up weirdly and not put it together properly and it's wobbly, they'll still like it more because it's built by them. Sweat, blood, tears, time has gone into it. Similarly with the game, right? And even for publishers, again, this is something which is looked at as a signal of, oh, you're consistent. this is you're serious about shipping this game, you're serious about building it, and you could be a fundable solo dev or a team, right? Okay, so now coming to discoverability. Discoverability is not something that happens once, one time. It's not a single thing, it's a loop. Okay, so you have to constantly be at it, and you have to do whatever it takes, and whatever tools you have in your armor to use. Okay, the first thing is engagement. For you to take out time and to engage with others, developers and players, does not take money, it only takes time, right? That's what we have been doing. So whether it's Blue Sky, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Reddit, whether it's YouTube, we look at what other train games exist, what other model train hobby forums exist, what they are doing, going and engaging with them, reacting to them, and telling them about us, right? If we just go and tell them, oh, we're a game, please see us, that's not how, like, if somebody were to come to you saying, oh, I'm doing this, buy this, that's not how it works, right? So engage them, it's free, it just takes a little bit of time, right? And then think about how much time and bandwidth you have. If you're somebody that social media comes very naturally to be present on every platform, if you can. If you're slightly overwhelmed by it, then you decide, okay, maybe YouTube is my main platform because most players and my communities here, or Instagram is the right platform, or Reddit, wherever you decide, and then you be present there. Okay, I would not advise that you make one post on everything and then you forget about it, right? That should not happen. So decide. Okay, consistency is the key. So if you're able to do 1 2 platforms, well, do that, don't do everything, but it is important that you put yourself out there. Okay, so if you, this is just an example of model trains on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is a new platform, we are very young, so it's a small community, but because we have been engaging with people, suddenly now we find champions. So whether it's Robert or whether it's Tachyon Eddy, both of them are UK based railroad enthusiasts who've now become our champions. We have never met them, we don't know them, we are sitting out of Bangalore in India, they are in London, but now they know we exist, and they constantly keep promoting us because they're invested, right? Indie community, we put something out, we put out a feature, we put a build in public tag, we ask them, and we've got a response. So slow steady wins, very important, and this happens overnight. On day one, you're not going to get 100 followers, that's fine. If you have 50 followers who are champions and not just bots who have followed you because you did a paid campaign, that's what's important, right? So you have to turn this community into people who constantly talk about you, and not just audience who's just looking at you, right? They have to talk about you, they have to wish list, they have to share. That's what important, right? Because on day one, no matter how much research you've done into building a game that you feel will get bought, will get played, your product market fit will only happen if you're constantly listening to players and their feedback, right? You ultimately want to ship a game that is immensely playable, and everybody who plays it is enjoying it, is talking about it. So we're all human, right? No game is perfectly made on day one. You all have a list of features that may or may not work, right? So that's the only way of getting a product market fit. Constantly build with people, put your game out there, have people play it, have people understand what your thought process is, and listen to people. Feedback is extremely important. Whatever works for you in terms of whatever process works for you, you figure it out. So for us at Model Trains, we've made a very simple platform called railyard.gg, where we put out it is a way that we've put out to put together a play test. People can come there, they can sign up for play tests, we'll give them keys. We put out our roadmap out there for people to sort of vote on, give us their view on what they want us to ship. You figure out your own. It can be, there are multiple ways of doing it, right? And you have to figure out who you want to listen to. Okay, you might have 100 people who are giving you feedback. Now it's for you to decide who's more important, right? So whether it's for for us example, persona is very important. So somebody who's both a railroad enthusiast, interested in the hobby, and is a simulation player, for example, is the key persona. Somebody who's just a casual simulation player, maybe we won't give that much importance to. So you have to figure out who are the top people that you want to listen to, and you have to tell people that we listen to you. That's what we have shaped, so they also feel, are, these people listen to us, okay, let me give more feedback, they genuinely care. So, a roadmap which has been shaped with inputs given by players is such a great signal for publishers and investors, because it tells people that, again, you are serious developer, you are professional, you are smart, you care about the players, you're not just making a game that you want to make whether anybody plays it or not, right? So in our case, there are three features. There's a train manager that we've put out, there is a tilt shift camera, and some changes in the menu UX, which we've all done basis what players told us, right? This is a screenshot of Aurelia GG, right? Where we've put out what we're doing and people are voting and giving us feedback. So do that. Today, proof of demand is the only way of shipping products. So whether it's a shoe drop that happens, right, even that, or whether it's a phone drop that happens, there are wait lists. Everybody creates pre-launch hype. That's the only way of doing it today. If you think you're going to release it and then tell people about it, that is not how marketing happens in today's day and age, and definitely not for games, right? And budget is, I understand how important it is. You're all students mostly. We're an indie game studio. Both of us don't have the money, right? But that's not necessarily the big barrier when it comes to doing marketing. Mindset is the first, and then figuring out a rhythm is the second, right? There are tools which exist. AI is the biggest tool. You have free tiers of every AI that you can brainstorm with, help get a calendar made of putting out stuff, help figure out, do research and figure out, okay, what are the top hooks that matter, what are the top platforms, etc., right? And there are tons of free things, softwares you can use. So, for example, I personally use Canva a lot. Microsoft Clipchamp works very well for video, and Instagram editor. A lot of people use CapCut. I have not used it, but again, apparently it's a great tool, right? If you're more serious about it, DaVinci Resolve, or then obviously there are lots of tons of professional video editing tools. For images, again, Canva, other tools, and I'm sure you're using most of them. In terms of store assets, Steam and itch have guidelines out on what are the best ways of doing your store assets. Itch.io has default templates as well. You'll And if you do research, you'll get tons of free information. For example, how to market a game .com, run by Chris Zukowski's another great platform where you can get lots of information for free about what are the best practices to market your games, whether they're mobile or PC games. Uh, this website, dopresskit.com, is again a free tool to put together a press kit. You don't necessarily need a PR agency or knowledge about it. Put together basic stuff about your game, basic art information, and it'll convert something. Have it, put it on your website. What stops you from doing it, right? From day one, if you come across as professional, the chances of your success will only increase, right? And figure out a way to get feedback. We have done it through Railyard. You figure out what works for you, whether a Google form works, whether sliding into DMs of your players works, whether you want to set up one-on-one chats. That's also, we've also done one-on-one chats with a lot of players. Whatever works, just make sure you do it. All of this is free. Okay, so we don't have money, ma'am, we are students, is not an excuse for anybody. Okay, and be smart about putting stuff out, right? We all understand how hashtags work. We have all done Throwback Thursday, right? So similarly, there are tons of ways of doing it, right? So Screenshot Saturday is a very, very popular way of putting stuff up about your game. If you are burnt out all through the week, take out 5 minutes on Saturday and make it a habit that I'll put out whatever I'm working on, I'll put out a screenshot and do Screenshot Saturday, right? We put out our trailer on a Tuesday and used hashtag trailer Tuesday. Lots of people retweeted us. We got again lots of traction for free because we were smart about it. Every Wednesday, all games which are on wishlist use this hashtag to promote themselves. You can indie dev hour is again one way of doing it. It's a established hashtag. There are lots of ways of doing it, right? These are some examples. A simple Google search will give you tons of more examples. Whatever works for you, just be smart about it and build a calendar. Okay, and you're not building a game in isolation, right? There is a very Gaming is the biggest entertainment industry, right? Bigger than movies and music put together. So, and there are tons of things happening all around the year. I've put some big ones, but I'm not saying this is what you have to think about. Maybe you're not building a big PC game. Maybe you're building a small indie game. Doesn't matter. There'll still be events which are of importance to you, right? Whether these are physical events like the IGDC India Game Developer Conference, or online showcases, right? Like the Steam Next Fest, right? Only if you have taken out some time, done some research, put it on a calendar so you are aware of it, will you then start thinking about applying there and getting as much publicity, platform, stage as you can. A lot of these are free, a lot of these are paid, which is fine, right? Whatever your budget allows. But if you're not even thinking about it, you're never applying for it, right? So that is very important. There is a Game Dev of Color conference that happens, lots of other showcases also, and all of them have deadlines a few months in advance, especially the international ones. So all the free stuff, all the subsidized stuff, if it's on your radar, will you think about it, right? So do that. Put it on a calendar so at least you look at it. So for example, for Gamescom, right, it's been on our radar from day one. Maybe this year we'll be able to take part, but we've been thinking about it, and that's how it's going to happen for us. So do that, plan it smartly. Okay, and put together your calendar, put together your rhythm, whatever works for you. If it's a daily rhythm that works, whether you can do time blocking. Okay, I'll take out half an hour to do this on Monday, do this on Thursday. This is just an example, right? So maybe on Monday you reply to everybody, on Tuesday you put out something, Thursday is all about Wednesday is all about, okay, let me see what feedback on the game I've got. Whatever cadence works, right? Whether I want to put out a devlog monthly, okay, or every 3 months I want to put out a new trailer, or okay, every quarter I will sit down and do a list of, okay, what are the festivals that are coming up, where do I want to apply. Just put together, block your calendar. That's what we do. We have every week, bi-weekly, bi-monthly. Okay, we look at whatever new festivals, what are the new deadlines that are coming up, whether we want to take part, whether it's paid or not. Okay, what is the next devlog? Blocking calendar, that is critical. It's just simple habits which you form, and that will sort of give you compounding results. If you're a solo dev, you don't have time, do one thing, don't do every day. If you're a bigger team, then you divide. Okay, one person will take care of the devlog, whatever the content you want to put out, one person will post it, one person is in charge of the survey. And if you're a big funded team, then you have zero excuse to do it, you have to do everything. Okay, so just leaving you with a screenshot of our shorts feed. This is just when we had started talking about the game. There is no excuse for, oh, we don't have enough content. You have to create content. So whether it's a cat sitting on the computer of Yadu while he's working on a game, whether it is people we have caught hold of at a conference, made them play our game and got their opinion, whether it is just our trains derailing in like a in development canvas, just put it out there. You never know what will work. Yeah, it's and sometimes you put out something and it has got very less views, and you'll see maybe 6 months later that video blows up, right? So put out whatever you can across every platform that you can. Do shorts, do long format, do live streams, do players. We do a player where we're just playing the game online. We try to do as often as possible. So yeah, long story short, you have to start marketing from day one. You cannot wait, because it's a criminal waste of time and opportunity, and it's so unfair to you as a developer if you've waited. Put out everything. That's how you will realize what's working, what's not working. Don't get stressed if something's not working on day one, it might blow up later. And yeah, have fun while you're doing it. Yeah, put out all the heartburn that you're going through, all the funny things, all the good things, all the not so good things, and learn from each other. Talk to other devs, engage with other players, because it is a two-way street. So yeah, that is all the yarn I had to give today. Happy to take questions. Let me stop the stream. Yeah, I hope that made some sense.
Okay, we're open for questions. You guys can raise your hands for asking questions, or you can type it in the chat.
If you're all Game Jam participants, best of luck to everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hello. First of all, thank you for the session. It was like very insightful. I have two questions. So first
Okay.
is like I am working like alone as of now in the main game. So right
Mhm.
now, should I like focus on making a vertical slice and pitching publishers, or while making the vertical slice, I should like build community and then pitch the publisher?
Okay. So my answer would be if you can do both. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Community building is non-negotiable. Okay, a publisher will look at how many, say, whatever traction you are getting on whatever platform, whether it's a wish list, whether it's an email list that you have made for people who are interested, whether it's social media engagement or followers or likes. So they will also look at that to do to evaluate whether they feel your game is fundable or not, right? So do that anyways. When it comes to reaching out to publishers, do it as soon as you can, because if you feel, oh, now I have made everything, now I'll go to a publisher, and the publisher will say yes automatically. That's not how it works. You could get lucky, but you don't plan for luck. Okay, luck happens when you have planned everything. So for example, in our case, because we got an opportunity to go to GDC through a program, we met some publishers and we pitched. All of them told us we are too early. We were like, okay, thank you, but at least you now know that we exist. Okay, so after that we have gone back to them on regular intervals, 6 months, sometimes 1 year later. Okay, this is the progress we have made. Now what do you think? Because industry situation can change, war can happen, people, publishers, new publishers come in, publishers close also. So things happen all the time. Your job is to reach out whenever you can. Okay, they will tell you you are too early. If you're too early, that's absolutely fine. Say thank you so much. If you have any feedback, give us. If you want any particular if you wanted to know anything specific, I'll come back to you with that, right? So for example, they might ask, okay, no, finalize your art and come to us, or do this and come to us. So at least now you have some information that you can work on, rather than just working into a void, and hoping that everything that you're doing is right. Nobody knows that. So reach out as soon as you can and do build community while you're doing it.
Okay. And another question is like, what platforms do you suggest? Because I haven't started marketing. So what type of short form content and in which platform should I do? Because I'm working alone in this particular case of it.
So you're making a PC or a mobile game?
PC game.
You're making a PC game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely Reddit is important, I would say. Like
Okay.
for me also, Reddit, it was very new, but very quickly I figured that it's going to be very important. So now I am also trying spending as much time as you can. YouTube is important, and
Oh,
Instagram. Okay,
oh,
if at least these three you can do. See, YouTube and Instagram are all both visual, right? So you can
yeah.
use similar content. So if you're putting stuff out on reels, you can use the same content for shorts. So that's
Yeah.
slightly easy to do. And on Reddit, you can keep putting stuff out about development, right? About you've put out a GIF or a screenshot. You can ask. So if you, depending on whether you're building on Unity or Unreal, or there are forums dedicated to that. Go and ask questions there. So for example. Vivek, who's leading engineering, he's put out some stuff out on Unity forums. Okay, how can I do this? What do you think of this? And we got so much feedback. Now, feedback is one thing which is useful, but now so many more people know that we exist again, right? So that is why Reddit is important. So for a PC game, at least these three, if you can. And then Blue Sky is new, but is also helpful. Twitter again used to be the biggest platform, but now a lot of crowd has gone to Blue Sky. But again, I understand all of it takes bandwidth and time. So at least Reddit and YouTube and Instagram, if you can, please.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Any other questions?
I also had a question.
Okay.
As you mentioned, like you had trailer Tuesdays and Rockstar Games, like the company behind GTA 6, also like put their trailers like usually on Tuesdays. So
Right.
how do we compete with like how do we gain traction when everybody is running to see the latest trailer for GTA 6? Like how do we compete in this?
Well, I think you know the answer to that. There is no competing with a triple bajillion dollar game, right? But that is not the point. The your game has its own audience, and you have to make sure that audience finds you, right? So you have to be, the first thing is you have to be present. So if there is a Tuesday, okay, you know, GTA's trailer is going to drop. So for, okay, I'll give you our example. Now we know December and holiday season is a very big season for all the big games. It's like or planning a movie release. You know, Diwali is going to be this big, whatever big movie, right? So you don't plan for release that day. So you have to be slightly smart about it. So which is why we're planning very specifically. We've taken a window. I don't want to give out the window because we're still working on it, which is after all the sales have happened. So we're not clashing with any big Steam sale. We're not clashing with something else. It's not the holiday window, and that is how you smartly plan that. So definitely do it on a Tuesday. Definitely put hashtags out there. Go and retweet other people. There'll be lots of people who are very open to promoting you. You have to find them, which means you're constantly scrolling. Keep making a list. Spend as much time as you can on Twitter, on all the platforms. Right now, for the last few weeks, I've suddenly started noticing traction on threads, which I was just doing it, just out of habit, not spending time. But suddenly now I see people are like, okay, promote your game in our comments. We will promote you, because I was just scrolling through the hashtag and I found there. So you can never compete, but you can create your own niche. That is what you want to do, right? So be intentional about it, be smart about it. If you don't know what the best time is, ask ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT, tell Gemini, tell Claude, okay, this is the game that I am making, this is the genre. Can you do research? Are any other big releases out there? What is the best time for posting this? There is enough information out there. You just have to spend time in finding it, curating it, and then using that information. If that helped.
Thank you.
We'll wait 2 3 more minutes. If there are no more questions, we'll end with that.
I think Kane has a question, right? Aman. Yaman, do you want to put on chat? Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Hi. Thank you for such an insightful session, first of all. And my question is, like everyone says, you should start marketing your indie game from day one. So
Yes.
my game is currently in the texturing phase, and I'm wondering if I should start posting about it now or wait until it's more polished. I'm worried
You
that
will.
if I start too early, ma'am, I'll run out of content before launch.
Why? Okay. I understand why you're saying that, but practically that's not how it works, right? You're thinking of content as a finite thing, that there is only so much content. But whatever you, okay, so I'll give you an example. So I have made a very simple calendar and I tell my team, whatever you have done that day, put one line and put screenshot of whatever you worked on. Okay, whether it's a feature, whether it's a anything, because if you think, oh, we have not shipped any feature, but there is no new trailer, then there is no content. No, content is if you have you were struggling with some part of texturing and you were thinking about something and you tried one direction but that didn't work, that is also content. Every single day you can create content. So don't. And okay, internet is huge, right? Just because you put out something today doesn't mean everybody saw it and will remember it. You can put the same thing out 2 months later and people will still think it's new. There will be new people who'll see it. Old people also would have forgotten about it and they'll think it's new. So never think it's too early or that it's repetitive. It's absolutely fine. Start putting it out today. Texturing is a technical thing. There is a whole technical community out there you can use, right? Once you have a final trailer, then a different kind of different people will see it and engage with it differently. You want both. You want other artists, other developers to be interested in you at this stage. And then you want a larger pool of people to be interested in you at a later stage. You need both.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the answer.
Also, no game will ever be finalized, right? People are releasing stuff constantly. So whether it's updates, whether it's DLC, additional content for free or to buy, a game is never finished. So technically, you if you wait, then you can wait till the end of time. So that's for everybody. Please put stuff out. Your game is your child. You'll always be taking care of it. So
We'll wait for 1 minute and then we'll end the session. Okay, I think we can end the session now. Ma'am, any final notes from your end?
final notes. Like I said, if you're working on a game and you started today, then you need to start posting about it today. Don't wait. Be shameless about asking for feedback. And yeah, all the best to everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. The session is over now. You guys can start leaving, and thank you for joining the session as a speaker, ma'am. And thank you everyone for joining this session.
Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you, everyone.